Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is Mid Morning Show, and my name is Mary Oswero. I'm so glad you could join us this morning as we discuss our topic of the day here in a Farmers Media. It is the 21st of July 2023. I hope you're having a good morning, and if not, you are in the right place. Tag along with us as we discuss our main topic of the day, which is human and wildlife conflict. First of all, when you talk about human and wildlife conflict, whatever I mean is simply negative interactions between humans and wildlife. And of late, we've realized that human wildlife has affected sorry, human wildlife cases are becoming so rampant. The question is why? So we'll be joined by our very special guest, Mr. Noah Kadima Nasiali, the one and only. Good morning, Noah.
Hi, morning. How are you? I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Very, very fine. I'm out here in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
How
yes.
is life
But
there?
really, life is good. We were just in the process of doing some work here, and yes, so I said let me join in and share what I can share in this topic.
Are you ready for this topic?
Very. I've been ready for quite a long time. It's actually interesting that it has actually come to happen.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, now what comes into your mind when you talk about human and wildlife conflict?
Two things come to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is farmers losing their lives and livelihoods,
Mm-hmm.
and the wildlife being killed. So those are
Mm-hmm.
two things that come to my mind. Yes, especially the fact that when this is happening, it is right under the watch of quite things that could be controlled probably to some extent, but also there are some factors that you cannot control.
Losing, I don't know if uh, we can do something about it. I'm not getting you well.
Mm,
No?
I don't know if my. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, I don't know what happened for some reason. Let me just see. Now you can hear me?
Yes, you can hear. You can continue.
Brilliant. Yes. So I was saying two things. I'll just but again, two things come to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is farmers and human beings losing their lives and livelihoods.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that also comes to my mind is the animals, the wildlife dying, because that is as a result of now that tension and the conflict, we end up losing both sides.
Okay. Can you briefly explain for us some of the examples of human wildlife conflict?
Yeah, so one that is very common that is actually when elephants and other wildlife that look friendly, that's elephants, zebras, antelopes, when they come into our farms. I don't know if you can still hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so when they invade farms, what happens in most instances that a lot of losses in terms of the farm produce. So farmers lose a lot
Mm-hmm.
when elephants come in, or zebras or antelopes. They just eat as much as they can. And I'm using elephants for one main reason because I have seen that firsthand. I think I've shared some of the videos there where I was in my house here in the farm, and I just had something weird in the maize plantation. When I looked out, it was an elephant, a very big thing in the farm, and it ate close to 3 acres of produce here in the farm of maize. We also see other wild animals. We also see some of the pastoralists, the livestock farmers. What they do is that they also face a lot of challenges when it comes to things like hyenas, lions. Get into our farms and take and kill, and so that means that farmers are losing two ways. First, it's a danger to you yourself as a human being. You can be killed. Your produce comes to it's actually trampled on. It's actually destroyed. And then the other thing is also if you have any water bodies, water structures, these things just come in and just destroy all that. Yeah, so that is one of the things that really come to my mind, and I see, is it something that can be avoidable? Is it something that can be controlled? But again, as we discuss, we'll get to know more about that.
I have heard you talk about elephants. When the elephants invaded your farms, what do you do about it?
Very interesting. I can say there's some things you can do, but it's beyond our control. So when I say there's some things we can do, so what I've seen farmers do in the near past is that farmers have actually looked at options of putting fires around the fences, so that the elephants, when they come, they see the fire and then they go away. But that is not sustainable because it means that you have to invest in firewood and not for cooking. So you have to invest in firewood that is actually for you as to chase away elephants. So that becomes very costly. The other thing that we've also seen is that farmers have put electric fences, which again is another cost. Electric fence, but the elephants have become very interesting and very, I can say, very intelligent, because what they do is that they've known how to go around and get, if the fence has electricity, they get some other trees, and then put them on the electric fence. And when they put on the electric fence, automatically then you have lost it because now they climb on top of the other tree. The other thing that we've also seen that has been used is the putting beehives on the fences, near the fences, hanging beehives, so that elephants do not like bees. So that is one thing. However, all these options have their own challenges. For example, if it is electric fence, it's costly. It's very expensive to put an electric fence, unless it's a small area. And then the one for beehives are not cheap. And even if you have beehives, like for example ourselves, we have bees, but you still find it a challenge because not all the time are the beehives colonized. So what that means is that automatically there's already a challenge there that you can see. And yes, so those there are some mitigating options that have been there, but not as sustainable as that can help farmers fully.
No, you're a farmer around Kajiado County. I don't know if elephants are so many in Kajiado. Have you heard of so many cases? And if there are so many cases, why do you think there are so many cases of elephants raiding people's farms in Kajiado County?
So it's not only in Kajiado, but to make reference to Kajiado County is because we have Chulu Hills towards the southern part of Kajiado, that is Loitoktok area, and then Kajiado is also neighboring Taita, Taveta County, meaning we have the Savo, which is known for the savanna elephants as well. So when you come in, the whole of that area around Kibwezi, also known for having elephants because of neighboring with Savo. Then on this other side where we are in Namanga, we have the Amboseli. So those are the game parks already. But also of great importance is to note that there is also the wildlife migration route, if I would call it, where they move from point to point. And so one of the causes of this is because we have also, I can say, encroached on the land that where the wildlife would be probably getting its pasture. That is the main one. But we should also not forget that we are facing climate change. And because of climate change, we have had 5 failed rains since, and so the only rain that actually came to partly salvage the situation was one that rained in March, April there. But you see, that was not sufficient enough to cover the whole area. The other thing is also the ivory trade is under control to a large extent, so you don't find so many poachers. But on the flip side, also farmers have also started farming these areas fully, and you can imagine if you have a place where there is no food, and then elephants. I think they have a very interesting sense of smell. So they would smell produce in a farm, and they would come. And very interestingly, they would only come when you're just about to harvest. They don't come when you've planted the maize. They come when you're just about to harvest the maize.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of the challenges, but the main one being climate change. It has really changed. So even if you are a climate smart farmer, then there's still a challenge, because then you have produce and that. So there are those are, I can say for sure, the 2-3 main reasons why we are seeing a high invasion of elephants in Kajiado County.
What impact does the raiding have on the farmers?
Wow, Mary, let me tell you for sure, farmers lose a lot. You can imagine, for us, in December, we lost 3 acres of maize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an average, if I was to sell maize, an average of close to, let's say, 250,000 shillings per acre. So I lost close to 600,000 shillings worth of maize. And not just the maize only. It is also the irrigation system. So with its trunk, it goes and uproots all the irrigation system. It damages the water tanks and all that. You can see the crops, you know, you just lose, and it just steps on the crops, all that, you know, and even the irrigation equipment. Apart from just even the irrigation equipment, there's also the fear. There's a lot of fear that you get, because this fear comes from a scenario where you're wondering, will the elephants come in at night? It is also becoming very expensive, because then you have to employ some people at night to just make sure that elephants don't come to the farm. So in terms of going back to what's really the losses, you know, the losses are there. You know, you can imagine that is an elephant outside actually in my farm, and all that maize went west. All that maize went west. As much as we tried, so that was early in the morning. So I don't know if my grammar is okay if I say they are shameless. They are really shameless, because normally they used to come at 11 p.m. Now they come in broad daylight. It's like when you're used to going out, and then now you go back home at around 11. But now this one stays up to morning. You know. Yeah. So those are some of the dangers that we also, and the losses that we incur. And also within the same vicinity, we have school-going children.
Yes.
So these elephants even prevent these kids, because they fear. Kids go to school as early as 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, 6. So they have to wait for each other so that they can grow as a pack. And it's still very dangerous, because elephants doesn't care whether it's a small child or a big child. So that's already, even just you're traumatized to see this again.
I was about to ask you if the kids wait for each other, will the elephant now run away? Because it's a very big animal.
So you see, when you walk 2 or 3 of you, the scare is a lot, you know. But when you're many, probably I've seen some instances they are told when they're working together, they're a group of 10 or 20, and then they go as they clap their hands. Elephants don't love noise. So they tend to get scared. They don't know whether it's a big person or small young people. So you go as you clap your hands, or you have a metal like a mabati, and you go as you bang bang. So the elephants tend to run away from noise.
Okay, as a farmer in Kajiado County, how do you see agriculture in this county?
Well, agriculture in Kajiado County is fantastic. I can tell you for sure, without a doubt, agriculture in the county is fantastic, and that is why I am even in the farm today, to see, apart from what we are doing, the launching of the product that we have. It is also now it's an arid area. It's a semi-arid area, and being a semi-arid area, it means that if you have irrigation, then you have a very good opportunity, because then you can have 2 or even 3 seasons depending on the crop that you have. And if you compare that to other regions, for example, if I plant maize in Kajiado here, I can plant maize twice a year. If I'm harvesting green, I can actually plant it 3 times a year. But if I was to plant the same maize in Kitale, I would only do it once a year. So that's an opportunity. Access to markets, coming to Nairobi, going to Mombasa, is also an opportunity that is presented very well in Kajiado County. We have Kajiado County across all the way from Loitoktok all the way to Narok. Actually, Kajiado borders 5 different counties. And so the opportunities that are there are fantastic for you to be able to do that. We know Loitoktok is very well known for tomatoes and onions as well. So that is great opportunity to say that Kajiado is great. Kajiado also, something else that I should not forget, is also the second. Actually, it's not the first. It's a best producing county in Kenya.
Okay, you
Best
just talked
producing
about.
tomatoes.
Okay, you just talked about a product that you are launching, and to believe it's the Dadin product.
Yes.
Okay, can you please tell us more about the product?
Good, fantastic, thank you. So as we have been looking at solutions that farmers are able to get to some of the challenges that they're facing, we reach out to potential partners who are able to look at what can we do different, what can we do to support, smallholder farmers, and that is how we came up with the product called Guardian. So Guardian is an elephant repellent. It's also a soil conditioner and also doubles up also as a foliar fertilizer. So what Guardian does is that Guardian is an organic, smelly elephant repellent. And when I talk about organic, it is purely organic, no chemical added. The only chemical that we've added to it is water. And what it does is that it repels elephants. You see, spray it around your farm. It repels elephants to as far as 2 kilometers with just that smell alone. So we've seen that it has worked. Ever since we started the production here, it has worked really well. And I don't know if you can. I think I've shared also some of the images of the production site, what we have done, what we've done in the past, so that we can be able to see how do we help farmers beyond the normal planting of crops going to the market. How can we make sure that when they plant, take care of the crops well, they can go to harvest, they can go to the market without the challenges of human-wildlife conflicts.
Is it a repellent only for elephants or for other wildlife too?
Well, for now, we are testing it with elephants, but also apart from just being an elephant repellent, it also helps the soil. It gives the soil moisture and stuff like that. So that also acts as it supports that. And if you see, partnering, we have actually started rolling out this with different farmers as well. We have tested and we've seen that it works really well. And apart from that, also, it is what is the reason behind this? What are some of the reasons behind this? Is because yes, we do not just want to repel elephants, and support farmers, but also the biodiversity. Remember, yesterday we were talking about the ecosystem, and you see, with our ecosystem, then all living things have to exist. So that is just a brief about what Guardian is and what it does. Yes.
Okay, in Kajiado County, there's so much farming going on. Is there a potential market for these products, for the crops that are harvested?
Yes. So Kajiado County, as I mentioned, it borders 5 counties. And with all those 5 counties, these are counties that are, I can say, populated. They are densely populated. So that is Nairobi, obviously, comes number 1 because it's very near. Then we have Mombasa and Taveta the other side. So that means that all these places are able to consume what is being produced in Kajiado County.
And to believe the much that I know about elephants is that it's a large animal. It's a big one, and they communicate through vibrations. As a farmer, when you're there at home or even in your farm, and to believe that you can hear the elephants communicating. Is it a must that you use the Guardian, or there's another way that you can chase away the elephants?
As you can see on the screen now, there's an elephant that is actually chasing away the helicopter. So if you look at it very critically, that elephant is chasing the helicopter that was meant to actually move it from the site or redirect it elsewhere. And one of the reasons why we can say for sure, which I think we'll also go back to in detail in terms of the impacts of on elephant raids and stuff like that, and why that is contributing to the same. If you look at elephants and what they do and how they have in terms of raiding and all this, there are different ways of deterring elephants, as I mentioned earlier. But what we are looking at, first of all, is which of these solutions is sustainable? Which of these is sustainable? So probably what I can start off first is just to give you some fun facts about elephants that make they make them make it unique. Elephants can eat close to 130 kilos of food per day.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine if you are to convert that into packets of the bundles. A bundle normally has 12 packets, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
12 packets, that's 24 kilos. So you need close to 6 of those in one day for an elephant to get satisfied. You know, so you can imagine that. They have a very strong way of communicating, as you've mentioned. However, because of being because of the climatic changes, you don't find all these elephants together, you know, and if you don't find them together, that means there's a very big a challenge already. And when you say that these elephants then are not together, it means then you get rogue elephants. Some of them become rogue because, number one, they believe in families, and so when it's alone, you realize, you know, that elephant then must have a problem with it, and that is why it's on its own. So what I would like to do is that probably just talk about the scale of the elephant conflict in Kenya. Yes. So what is the scale of the elephant challenge in Kenya, so that we can see what this really looks like. So if you look at in Kenya, we have 34, close to 34. Now it has gone higher, probably close to 40,000 elephants in this year. The population has really increased, and some of the migration corridors have actually been affected. In fact, like if you look at the human human beings, we are competing with land and resources, because then we have encroached some of the elephant habitats, and this then becomes dangerous, because now the elephants then remember that this is where we used to pass, and so when they come there, they find water, they find crops, then that becomes automatically it's an opportunity for them to eat. Then also if you look at now what that impact is, I think you asked me that, but I would like just to dwell on it a bit more. And one of the things that I have seen, one thing that I have seen is there are quite a number of significant impacts on farmers in areas where elephants and agricultural activities overlap. So number one, top of list, is crop and property damage. You know, elephants can cause substantial damage to crops, including staple crops, you know, things like maize, rice, you know, sugarcane. We are seeing them entering cabbage farms, chili farms also, just to trample and then feed. And sometimes they even uproot. I remember they uprooted so many of my mangoes and pawpaws in the farm here. You know, so that means that and apart from that, also you invest a lot in fencing your farm, you know, the irrigation system, storage facilities, because they smell food, they smell water, they want to come and hang and remove, because they are very destructive, you know. Another thing, livelihood disruption. You know, for instance, farmers who rely heavily on their agricultural produce, then they face crop damages, you know, by elephants. Then it means that then they have severe consequences. You know, for example, if I didn't have a fence here, if we're not producing garden, then automatically you would know that, oh, for sure, it's a very interesting thing, because then why would I continue farming in this area? Okay, so that means that all this, the livelihoods being disrupted, it causes insecurity, food shortages, you know, reduced income. The other thing that also does is very interesting, Mary. Having been doing some research around here and around Kajiado County, we actually saw firsthand a very interesting challenge that farmers are actually saying, that the livestock farmers, they're actually saying that when elephants cross inside through the fences, then the hyenas are following the elephants. So if you have cows and goats, the hyenas then get an opportunity to attack this the livestock that you have. The other thing that is also very critical is time and resource allocation. Farmers, you need a lot of money to go and get to fix damages on your farm. So as we all know, dealing with farmers, we have seen so much that farmers need additional time, effort, and resources to protect their crops from elephant raids. Meaning, if you have a farm, then you have to pay extra for somebody to be available, and this must be somebody who is not scared of elephants.
Yes.
This may also involve measures, things like building structures, physical barriers, and as I've said, also putting like beehives and the rest. But how effective are these in terms of costs? So these are just some of the impacts that the human wildlife conflict, especially elephants, cause in farmers' lives.
Okay, when you bring about someone to take care of your farm for you, and the elephant invades the farm, how sure are you that that person is safe? It's like we are losing Noah a little bit. As you continue, oh, he's back.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good,
I
good.
was asking,
Yeah.
how sure are you that the person who is taking care of farm is safe when the elephant invades the farm?
You cannot be 100% sure. You cannot be 100% sure. So if in case something happens to them, then you might be liable. And that is why we decided, instead of looking for as many people to watch the farm, we decided to do this and make sure that we can get a product that farmers can be able to use to do away with the elephants, instead of actually relying on human beings to run. Sometimes you can doze a bit, at night. You can imagine dozing, and then an elephant is just next to you there. That's already a challenge. Yes.
Yes. What do you think makes the elephants and other animals to leave their habitat and come and attack people in their farms?
As we've said when we started off, the climate has changed. The climate has changed, and it means that then where they were located in terms of these elephants, like the parks, like their own habitats, we are seeing that those habitats are actually drying now. They're drying now. And since they are drying, then you realize that you have to now make sure that you, as a farmer, is able to uh, protect yourself. But when they come in, they're looking for water. They're looking for food. They are looking for. They've remembered their roots. An elephant does not forget its roots. So that is now what that looks like.
Could you please explain for us some facts about the elephant?
Interesting. Fun facts about elephants. So fun facts about elephants. They have many. Number one is just the feeding. Number two, an elephant can be as big as 6 tons. Yeah, and apart from that, we've also shared some photos. I think with the producer, on just how big bones that belongs to elephants are, and apart from that, what the other thing that we also fun fact about elephants is that I don't know whether to say that as a fun fact or a fact. The elephants do not forget the route that they have passed.
Yes.
So if an elephant passes through a certain route, they will definitely again come back and pass through the same route again. The other one is that we know that a rogue elephant, an elephant that is alone, is most of the time it is very dangerous. The other one, I don't know if I have any other one. Probably if I can remember as we continue.
Okay. What impact does humans have on elephants? Since we've talked about the impacts that elephants have on humans.
Well, interesting. So the impact, we have two types of impacts. One, human beings have a positive and negative. We see in India, which I'm still yet to see, elephants walking in the streets with carrying human beings and not causing any damage.
Yes.
So number one, yes, definitely the conflict that is arising is because of the fear that each of them have on themselves, on each other. And that means that when it comes to the elephants, the human beings are a danger to them because we have encroached on their habitats. We have
We can't hear you, Noah. I think we can hear Noah at this point. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Keep tuning. Don't leave this page. Continue sending your comments and feedbacks. We'll be reading all of them. Welcome back to Fazma's Media. We're still having our mid-morning show. Our guest of the day is still Noah Nasiali Kadima, the one and only. He's at the farm where they're launching a very good product, the guard-in repellent, which you can use for the elephants. He said that he's also a fertilizer. We'll be getting to learn more from him as we continue. Today, I've also learned that elephants take a lot of food. That is something I'm sure you also didn't know. That's why we're here to educate you more about that. Our guest is still joining us virtually, but as we continue, I'd like to read your comments. I can see on our Facebook page, Titus Olole Sitelu is telling us the elephant repellent project is good. Thank you so much, Titus. Continue commenting, continue sending your feedback. So we are here to educate you more about elephants. Our hashtag is still elephants as we continue. I don't know if Noah can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Those are
Now,
the challenges of being in the jungle. Internet connectivity is not as good.
thank you so much, Noah, for joining us, even if you are in the jungle.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Our viewers would like to know what human activities affect the elephants.
Wow, interesting. Very interesting question. Yes, one of the main ones is deforestation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you cut down trees, then we affect the ecosystem. Then it goes back, and these are the natural habitats of the elephants. So they have to come in and look for food, look for water, and stuff like that. The other thing that we have also done is, as I've said, encroaching on the land where elephants go in, and that also means then also when it comes to that, it also means that means our activities like as farmers, farming in areas where elephants are, sorry, affects that as well.
Okay. Are there different types of elephants? Noah?
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Are
Yeah.
there
So
different types of elephants?
yes. So it would that's a very interesting question. Yes, we are in as I said earlier. Um, we have some elephants that we've seen that are like in India. So these elephants are very friendly, stuff like that. As you can see, that is the cooking of the garden as well as it's going on. So we have the Asian elephant, which is popularly known as Elephas maximus. So they are quite big. They are in areas around India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, and the rest. They are a bit smaller in size. They have different physical characteristics like smaller ears. Some of them have two humps on their foreheads as well. And then we have the African elephant. So the African elephant, which is better known with its scientific name of Loxodonta africana or Cyclotis. So that is so we have two types of that as well. So we have the elephant, African forest elephant. So the African bush elephant is also known as the savanna elephant, the one that we see in and around Kajiado County and larger parts of sub-Saharan Africa. So this is the bush elephant, Loxodonta africana.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the other one that is an African forest elephant, which is seen mostly around in West Africa, Central and West Africa. It's basically in forests, so you don't get close to see them. It is a bit smaller than the African bush elephant. The African bush elephant is really big. It is really big. If you see it, you can run away.
Okay.
Yes, you can run. Actually, yes. So yeah, so that's that. The other fun fact about elephant that I remembered when we went for a break
Okay.
is that the tusk of an elephant.
Mm-hmm.
It contains 100,000 muscles.
Hmm. The tusk,
100,000 muscles.
the ones that
Yes. Sorry, the
the
trunk.
tweet,
The
the
trunk. The trunk.
oh, the
Sorry, the
trunk.
trunk.
Okay.
Yes, it contains 100,000 muscles
Mhm.
that enable them to do everything. Grasping objects, drinking water, communicating, touching, sounds, and all that. It's really huge. And I got I got close to it when one was trying to attack people and it had to be put down. You know, it another one. They are the largest land animals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then they are one of the best social animals, meaning they live in close knit families, as we said earlier. Then again, they're excellent in communicating. So they communicate in different ways, as you said. There's trumpeting, rumbling, low frequency vibrations as well. Yes,
What type of
some fun
food do they
facts.
take? Or is it just all the
Vegetation.
crops?
Not all the crops, but necessity prevails. Most of the time, you find that now they will eat what will make them stay alive, especially in areas like drought areas and stuff like that. Yes, but mainly feed on vegetation. They have some special things that they eat, but things like maize, watermelon, cabbages is like ice cream to them.
Okay. Let me take you back to the garden product. I just saw you guys cooking something and you just said that that is a garden product. Can you take us through the process through which the garden product is made?
Well, I'll not be able to disclose all that because I also don't have all that information. But I
Uh-huh.
can be able to explain in brief in terms of what that looks like. It's actually organic, as I mentioned earlier. It is organic in terms of all the stuff that are used are to manufacture is organic things that farmers can grow, as you can see. And then the cooking is a normal process of cooking, boiling, heating, then mixing all the ingredients together, and then after that, then you have an excellent product. You have an excellent product that works both as foliar fertilizer as well as now the main use is being an elephant repellent, which repels elephants from farms. As I mentioned earlier, all the ingredients that are used are organic, and that means that then they're friendly to human beings, and then also they are easily available. We also sourced that from different farmers locally, which now also brings in the idea of supporting local farmers in both production as also creating employment in the same.
Do you think we can find elephants just in our bushes, not in the game parks? The elephants that come to attack humans and even raid their crops. Do you think they come from the game parks, game reserves, or they just somewhere roaming?
Most of the time, they come from the game parks because not all the game parks have been fenced. But also remember, we say that the way they encroach, the way elephants are, sometimes you find that then they have also uh, broken off from the fences from the game parks, just the way we see sometimes lions and cheetahs roaming around. But mostly it's because of the food is not available in the game parks for the elephants. Hence the reason why they would stray away as well.
Mhm. Okay, you talked about deforestation. Do you mean that elephants can also feed on trees?
On some trees, not all trees. Remember, trees that have thorns, elephants will not do that unless they have fruits. Remember, they also feed and destroy things like mangoes, pawpaws. They destroy that. So that is the site. That is one of the things that we did today. The uh, launching. One of the elephants that was felled here after having one almost uh, attacked us at the farm, and you can see how huge those bones are. So it can just give you a picture of how big an elephant is.
I think we are losing Noah. Can you get me, Noah?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I came across some photos of elephants being shot. What advice or what can you tell those people who attack elephants to a point of taking the ivory?
Well, I can say our government has done a tremendous job in reducing the ivory trade in terms of elephants being attacked, poachers, the fines that they're getting. So on that, I want to really congratulate the government for actually stepping up and making sure that is the ivory trade is actually reducing here in Kenya. So you don't find as many of the ivory of the poachers around still. I would urge, as we are talking about the ecosystem, there's a reason why the elephants exist. There's a reason why they were created. There's a reason why they exist. And with that in mind, then why do we have to kill an animal to take its horns or its teeth or its tail? It doesn't make sense. So for me, I think the government is doing an amazing job, and we're looking forward to see how we can be able to to help on that front, to help also farmers access their farms when they need to. They can be able to produce, harvest, and go to market without fearing that elephants would raise their they'll face elephant raids and they get damages in the farms.
As you continue, let me just ask you this. As a farmer, how do you ensure that the elephant that you've chased away from your farm has gone back to its habitat?
It is very hard. It's one of the hardest things to know because most of them have trackers, so only those who are involved in elephant conservation or the Kenya Wildlife Society are able to track and see whether at all um, they are able to track it back, probably tranquilize it, send it back. But the danger mostly is that the moment an elephant attacks human beings, it is always the only fallback plan that human beings have is to chase it away, and most of the time they're not able, so it comes charging back and sometimes harms people. And so the only resort that people have is to do away with it, and hence the reason why using guarding and at scale in terms of not only Kajiado County but across Kenya and very soon across sub-Saharan Africa, and then we can be able to help reduce that.
The garden products found all over Kenya, or we just have it here in Kajiado?
So as of now, we have not even started rolling it out. We'll start rolling it out next week, and
Okay.
we will then communicate on where farmers can be able to get it. We're first doing a pilot test in Kajiado County, and then once we have that and we've identified what else, which other areas are looking for other partners and distributors, then we can be able to roll it out at scale.
Let me give you a second to shine with it. I don't know if it's being sold. How much is it?
Well, as of now, we are in that process, as I mentioned, of training farmers. As you've seen that image that has just been displayed, we are training farmers. We are training agricultural experts, that agronomists, and training them about how to use garden, how to spray, how to put it in bottles and stuff like that. And then now, once that is done, we started the packaging. Then now we set the price, which I am sure you will be the first person to know.
We are still here in our mid-morning show at A Farmers Media. Continue tuning in. We are live on YouTube at A Farmers Media, on Facebook at A Farmers Media, on Twitter at A Farmers with a Z underscore media, and on our website www.afarmersmedia.com. Our guest is still Noah Nasiali Kadima, an experienced farmer of 15 years. Continue sending in your comments and your feedbacks as Noah still educates us on elephants. Our hashtag of today is still elephants. Now, Mr. Noah, I wanted to know, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yep.
I wanted to know the elephant skins. Can they help in any way culturally, or can it be a medicine, a herbal medicine?
I know you're going to ask the ash. So I have not seen, I have not seen. By the way, that's a very interesting question. I'll ask one of my good friends called Ted Josiah if elephant skin can be used for doing other things. Probably the skin can be used. I don't know. What I know is that the waste from elephants, the is it called elephant dung, can be used as fertilizer as well. And yes, it's actually yes that I have not seen any other thing. Yeah, no, but I'll find out. And I'm sure you'll be the first one to know.
Okay. Okay, a farmers media is doing a very good job when it comes to educating farmers. Can you tell us more about how a farmers media has impacted uh, farmers' life?
Well, farmers media, having started to understand by just first of all trying to understand what farmers are, what they're doing, and what they're doing right and not doing right, has understood so much, and by being able to develop content that is not just the normal how to plant crops, how to take care of crops, but also things like what we're discussing today, human wildlife conflict. Looking for what are the opportunities that are there that farmers can be able to excel in what they're doing. Because you can imagine a farmer who already knows how to grow onions and tomatoes and watermelon. They do it, then elephants raid the farms. How will they get information that they can protect the farms? The other one is also just the linkages. We know that we do not have as many extension officers as we would love to have. So using the media is also an opportunity to link farmers to experts, to know what you need to do, how to do, when to do as well. So in all, I think it is a way that farmers media wants to help farmers and those in the industry connect, learn, and grow together.
Okay, thank you so much, Noah. Maybe your final words?
Well, I think it's just something that I would like to urge farmers: keep on doing what you're doing, do it right. I always say, if there's anything that is meant to be done, do it right.
Okay.
And also the other stakeholders in the industry, we keep on supporting and working with farmers, and eventually we know for sure that we can be able to manage to a high extent food and nutrition security.
Okay, it's been a very interesting show with you. Thank you so much for being here again. Thank you for accepting to be in our show today. My viewers,
Thank you
I
for
hope you learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot from today's topic. And today we have a very special proverb about elephants. Our main proverb of the day is, they say an elephant never forgets. What they don't tell you is you never forget an elephant. They say an elephant never forgets. What they don't tell you is never forget an elephant. You never forget an elephant. That's all we had for you today, our viewers. Until tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your day. I've been your host, Mary Oswero.
Mm-hmm.